911, what's the address of the emergency?
I'm at Winco on 136th north of No Plan.
Okay.
And I think I'm having a heart attack, actually.
Are you in a vehicle or on foot?
I'm in a vehicle. I'm in a large black Chevy at the the farther end, away from the local parking lot.
Okay. And is it a pickup truck or?
Yes. Yeah. Chevy 3500.
All right. And what is the phone number you're calling from?
360-989-0859.
And your name?
Aaron Gagnon, Gagnon. I'm a Portland firefighter.
Okay. My partner's getting help started. You said you're in which part of the parking lot?
Far out from Winco, south.
Far out. So closer to 136th Avenue?
Yeah.
Southwest. Okay. Tell me exactly what happened.
I don't know. I was driving and started feeling like weird, and now as I'm thinking about how I'm feeling, like my left arm is feeling achy, and my chest feels kind of like pain, and I'm tired as hell, and now I'm getting all sweaty. So,
yep. Okay.
Classic symptoms. I don't know what's up. So.
And how old are you?
53.
Okay. Filling in some of this info on my own, so give me just a minute here.
Yeah.
Is your breathing normal for you?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And are you clammy or having cold sweats?
I'm sweaty, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had a heart attack or angina?
Nope.
Okay. And did you take any drugs or medications in the past 12 hours?
No.
Okay. My partner's already dispatched help for you. I'm going to stay on the line with you. I want you to turn on your hazard lights to make you easier to spot in the parking lot. Okay?
Yeah, they're on now.
Okay, and I'm sure you know all this, but don't have anything to eat while you're waiting or drink. Okay, it could make you sick or cause further problems. Just let me know if you feel like you're getting worse or anything that I need to pass along to them, okay?
All right. I'm going to lay on my chair back, though. I'm friggin' tired.
Yeah.
All right. The truck's unlocked because I passed out.
Okay, good.
Well, the pain's getting worse, so...
Okay, they're almost to you. They're just coming right up on 136th Avenue, passing the Leroy Hagen Park, so they should be there in a minute.
All right, thanks.
Hi, Portland Fire. Welcome to our wellness show. I am luckily and happily here with Aaron Gagnon, also known as Gags. So go ahead, tell us what happened.
Hey, yeah, so, about 3 weeks ago, you just heard the audio on that. I was just driving to the grocery store, and I'll tell you the symptoms initially because I've had a lot of questions. Initially, I felt like I had a little bit of heartburn, and as I'm thinking to myself, why would I have heartburn? I didn't even have breakfast. It kind of spread like across my chest, just almost like flared weirdly, and I was thinking, wow, is this cardiac? It's kind of weird, and I was kind of flashing to all the times we've heard people say, oh, it feels like someone's sitting on my chest, it feels heavy, and it didn't feel that at all. And so as I'm kind of processing that, I feel like pain shooting down my arm, and then I'm like, oh my God, this is, and then it goes up to my jaw, and I'm like, this is the real thing. Oh my gosh. And other than being just angry, like me, like really, you know, I had to get to a parking lot, and then I pulled over and called it in, and so then you heard that, and then while I was waiting for those guys, it was about 8 minutes from the time I called to the time they arrived. I was spiraling pretty hard. I couldn't lift my arms or open my eyes, and I was just drenched, you know, and I kind of faded in and out. I don't remember a lot of, I remember them kind of starting the 12 lead and answering some questions and getting nitros and stuff like that, but I kind of mostly just woke up in the ER after that, so headed towards surgery. So yeah, not the best day. So
definitely not. And I just even talking to you prior, you had mentioned how just long it felt like.
Yeah,
for them
it
to get
felt
there.
like a long time. And so I remember Well, pardon the French, but I was talking to the Vancouver guys, and when they got off the rig, and they do exactly what we all do, like, hey, partner, what were you doing when this started? And I was like, skip the BS. I need a 12 lead right now, And so, and then that was the last I kind of remember. I felt like they were kind of picking and pulling on me, I was kind of like I said, not entirely with it, And I said, is that freaking 12 lead done yet? And he says, it's just coming off. And actually, I heard it tear, like when they tore it off the machine. And the medic says, oh, this is bad. And I said, is it a STEMI? He goes, it's a STEMI. And then I said, okay, well. And then they kind of helped me to the gurney, which was sort of sitting there. And then I woke up in the hospital. I remember kind of some small things. And then at the hospital, a lot of people, chaos, lots of people around you. We're going to shave you. This is going to hurt. Lights in your eyes. And I mean, just kind of mayhem you for a few minutes. And then it went dark for a while. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about now, what was that like for your wife?
So, my wife had kind of a scary time. So she gets a phone call. One of the Vancouver guys, I had tossed him my phone and said, call my wife. And he says, she gets a phone call, this very gentle, hi, this is Vancouver Fire. Aaron was transported by ambulance for chest pains. She knows that was not something I would ever call. I've never called 911 before, and I would never think I would ever call. And so she jams down to the hospital. And when nobody would tell her anything initially, when she told them who she was, they actually stopped talking to her and they sent someone out to her and they said, oh, I was Aaron's nurse, and they took her to a private waiting room. And so they said he's in surgery, and then they left her alone for about an hour. They didn't tell her, because they didn't know. They didn't know if I was going to live or die, and so they didn't want to tell her one way or the other. So it was about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour before she was told that he's going to live. So she had a hard time.
Yeah.
So, and I felt bad. I still feel bad about it, So, and my kids, they're crying, and so
how old are your kids?
28 to 20,
okay.
4 kids.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was hard on everybody. So.
Were they able to come to the hospital?
Yeah. They're adults. So I had one kid when my daughter was at the Oregon coast, and then another son was in the Air Force. He was up on base in Tacoma, and so they kind of came rushing back. So. And I don't know the timelines because I wasn't with it. When I woke up in the ICU, everybody was already there. So it was later in the night. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even like we're talking about 8 minutes for somebody to get there, an hour for your wife, like
in
any other circumstances, not much time, but a lot of time.
No, yeah, and I got really lucky. So fortunately, where I was at a grocery store that happened to be within 5-minute drive of the hospital. That the only hospital in Vancouver that has a surgical cath lab, which is what I needed. Had I been at home, 25 minutes away out in Camas, I wouldn't have survived. And then had I waited to call at all, I recognized the symptoms and called in right away, and that's partly why I'm here still.
Yeah.
And then
after surgery, what the doctors say?
So after the surgeon came back and said that he was surprised that there was little damage done, they expected 60% heart tissue damage, and that there was little to none is what I'm at right now, and they're thinking the damage that I'm dealing with still should be healed up in the next couple of months. I should be back to like 100%. So that's a huge deal. So, and time is tissue, right? So again, had I waited, it wouldn't have been as positive an outcome. So
what did he say in relation to the blockage?
So so they found the coronary artery on the front of the heart, the anterior ascending, whatever it's called, was 100% blocked. And then when they were fixing the one that was killing me, they look around and they found another one on the back of the heart that was 90% blocked. So that was stents they put in and 2 separate surgeries. The event was a Saturday about 3 weeks ago, and then that one they fixed the front one because that was the blocked one. And then the following Monday they did the second set of stents in the rear of the back of the heart. So.
And I know you'd mentioned that. So there was other areas that had 90% blockage, and the doctor said you could have potentially been walking around with that. For
they said essentially
years.
I was asking because I've been getting my physicals, I've been getting blood work done, and I quit chewing a couple of years ago. I tried to, as I turned 50, I started thinking about maybe being healthier. So, taking good vitamins and working out more, not enough, but working out more. And then, so they said I've been walking around for probably a few years with 90% blockages and didn't know it.
Yeah.
And then I was passing my physicals was the weird part, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's compensation or what, but I wasn't never hypertensive. I've never had high blood pressure. Leading up to it, my last couple of blood works in the last year, a doc said about a year ago my cholesterol came in at 230. So it was like, hey, we should get you on a statin. That's a little high, you know. And of course, I stubborned my way out of that and said, well, I'll just, work on the treadmill more and change my diet up a little bit better and see if I can get that down without your help, because I didn't want to be on any pills. I think it sucks taking pills. But anyways, that doc, of course, I've seen since says, should have been on a statin. I told you. So.
And that's a big question you get is like, were there any signs or symptoms? Like the only thing was the
the only warning, and that's the thing. It hit me, and I wasn't a candidate for this, so I might have family history. I just don't know my family history.
Yeah.
But
and age would have been the only other.
But 52 is not old. It's old enough, right? But it's getting there, but it's not old. It's not a heart attack range. Scary. A little bit high cholesterol. 230 is high, but not scary high. And then never hypertensive, no high blood pressure, nothing else, no diabetics, no other health history, no meds. In fact, even tons of doctors kept coming in and asking that. You don't have any history or any medications? Said, no, I'm a healthy guy until 4 hours ago. It's like,
that's for anyone that like if you come up at all with anyone's like what not
that was the scary part. So,
which is tough because what could you have done?
So one thing I did was I asked my docs about the surgeon and of my own primary doc, what tests could I have had done that would at least have shown 90% blockages, knowing that I'm already passing all my metabolic panel stuff and all the regular blood work's fine. And so it's a coronary artery calcium CT scan, a CAC test. And so in talking with you in the last couple of days, I found out that through our NFPA physicals, it's offered to some people with some comorbidities like over 45, obesity, family history, hypertension. If you qualify with a few of these markers, they'll offer you that test.
Yeah, so it's only for those that don't know, a select few that are going to, it's basically how they score on that test at the NFPA physical. And then Dr. Keel can refer them out for the CAC test, which they would do at another time. And with MODA, they can immediately do that referral and scheduling, and then Kaiser follows up to schedule. But you have to go do the NFPA physical, and then also it depends on how you score. And like as we've talked about, you probably wouldn't have gotten that referral.
So I wouldn't have gotten that referral because I wouldn't have qualified for the number of, I wouldn't have been high risk enough to be referred. But that's just because I didn't know, right? So in hindsight, knowing that, and that's partly why I wanted to do this whole video, was to spread that word, because half our membership's over 40, right? And most of our people aren't going to qualify for that test based on need of risk factor, just like me, you know. But had I known about it and gotten it, so my doc said it was about a $200 test if your insurance doesn't pay for it. Would have been awesome to have spent that $200, if I'd have known about it.
Because you could have done that test last year and then known at least.
Well, they would have fixed it, because they would have said, oh, you got 90% blockages and 2 different arteries. Let's throw some stents in there before you have a heart attack. And it would have still been the same treatment, only I would have avoided the heart attack and the heart damage and all the lingering problems that come along with that.
And as we discussed, maybe a little bit more motivation to hit it a little harder on the nutrition fitness side.
Yes, that too.
Yeah, which is tough to do. It's even when maybe you get a score with your cholesterol and your doctor recommends to do something. Sometimes it's hard to know what to do, how intense you might need to do on the exercise, or how dialed you need to get on nutrition. And everybody's so different that one certain nutrition plan may work well for you or may not, and that's something about finding what works for you. So it's tough to know exactly what to do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and then we're all stubborn. I mean, firefighting population, I think that we're all.
You are?
Yeah, surprised,
Oh,
right?
weird.
In fact, I told my doctor this. I was telling this exact conversation, and she says it's funny because in their world, they have a great base knowledge of their health and their own physical, and they're all halfway hypochondriacs. They worry about everything, and they think, oh, I think I've got that disease. These nurses and doctors, but our population still feels like we're bulletproof, you know, and that's all this. Yeah, we're all aware of it. We all know what it is. That's why we have so many of our guys that have had heart problems.
Yeah.
Ignored the symptoms, called their wives instead of 911 when they're having clear heart attacks, even though, and they knew it, but they didn't react well. And so some of our folks are, you know, long-term damaged themselves because of that, you know, just that hesitation. So, so yeah, things I did wrong. I could have been more physical and working out more. I ate pretty good, but I could have made a much better effort. And then things I did right was recognizing the signs immediately and calling 911 immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So for those that aren't familiar with the coronary artery calcium test, the CAC test, this is something that you can ask to be referred to with your primary care. And as we talked about, it's not too expensive with insurance, either if insurance covers it or if they don't, it's about $200. And what's really cool about it that I like is it's pretty clear, the information that you're going to get from it. It's a very simple table. You either score a 0, that's 0 blockage. If you score between 10 and 100, that's low blockage, low potential for heart attack, heart disease. If you score between 100 and 300, it's moderate to high risk. And so that's where you could be recommended by a doctor to go on a statin, or you need to do immediate treatment through diet and exercise to limit that blockage. And then if you score 300 or more, recommended for immediate treatment or testing. So even just getting that information can help provide you motivation of what steps you need to take and how serious you need to get, and know where your blockage is at. And then know also, say if it's, you know, if you score a 10, 15, but then after several years you start scoring higher, know that you're also getting worse over time. And what we discussed is, unfortunately, on that checkoff, being a firefighter in this job is not on that checklist, which it should be.
Yeah. So moving forward, we talked about if you don't have it offered to you, you can buy it on your own for a couple $100. Super worth it if you're in that 45 years old, a little bit heavyweight, whatever, you know, your family history is behind you. Think about it. Just consider it, you know, something that you should take somewhat serious, because, I mean, it got me, right? So, but the moving forward, we're trying to make it part of the NFPA physical offered to everybody over 40 is what we're going for.
Yep.
And so the cost right now is about $100,000 to the city for that to happen. And of course, they're not signed off on that yet. But the cost of an average heart attack for the city for one of our members is about 50 to 60 grand for the city. Anyway, so if we save 2 people from having heart attacks, it pays for itself, right? Out of our 750 members, which half of us are over 40, right? So that's a good. Mathematically, it should pencil out. Hopefully they'll sign off on that, and that'll become part of our NFPA physicals. Oh, and then also, while we're talking about it, we're working on the NFPA physicals not being so damn hard to schedule, right? If we can get approval to just get it on your days off if you have to, and get overtime for it or whatever, get it done. Just everybody participate would be nice. So. That's been the biggest hurdle, and I missed the last cycle because it was just so nightmarish to schedule.
Yeah, that's what we
got to have the entire
about,
crew. It was like frustrating as heck. So yeah, and so I missed the.
You had it scheduled in 2021.
I had it scheduled.
And then
I even made it to the required COVID test like 3 days before or whatever it was, or 5 days before, whatever, and then. My schedule, I forget what happened now, but I was unable to go to that day, and then it's like, good luck making that up. It's impossible, because you had to go as a crew and all these other things. So then I just went and got all the metabolic stuff, tests done at my own doc, and then to make up for that. But it wasn't the same exact test. I didn't get a tread test this last time, so the treadmill test. But yeah, it could have been done better, right? So.
Well, thank you so much for meeting with me. This was really important to talk to you as soon as possible. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah. Thank you. This has been important to me. Obviously, it became very important to me very quickly. I just wanted to say thank you to all the membership and and the Bureau in general. I got a ton of love and support. You know, I had put out a kind of a memo saying I don't want visitors to the hospital because, to be honest, it was just embarrassing. I was embarrassed. I shouldn't have been in hindsight because it wasn't something I could control, but it was embarrassing. I was embarrassed. My pride was hurt, and a couple of people showed up anyways. The chief showed up and said, just let you know we're thinking about you, and it was really cool. So appreciated all the well wishes and the fire family kind of reaching out and helping me through that. It was nice. I tried to respond to everybody, but it was comforting to know. So that's all.
Well, thank you, Portland Fire, and we'll see you next time.